Thanks to the CSR Research Foundation for inviting me to the program organized on blockchain technology, what it offers. And since my subject is secure and reliable trade with blockchain technology, I hope most of the people or audience must be aware about how in the traditional way the trade finance is handled. Uh, just to highlight a few points, I would like to put it that it is paper intensive transactions. There are manual processes which increases cost, time and resources. There are no fixed standard for documentation and processes.
यहाँ की लोकल आवाज भी आ रही है
There, hello.
ये तो ठीक
And obviously, because of the paper intensive transaction, there is a risk of data entry error. Secondly, trade finance also involves multiple counterparties, maybe seller, buyer, seller's bank, buyer's bank, freight forwarders, insurance agent, chamber of commerce, and so on and so forth. This creates a process and documentation in a complex manner because most of the counterparties have their own systems. Because of that reason, there is no visibility of document and payment. There is lack of real-time transaction update, lack of transparency among counterparties, risk of undue delay in cash realization. And also the most important part on the regulated entities like banks, it is increased cost of compliance. Manual data entry for checking, risk of human error, delay in regulatory reporting, difficult to carry out real-time checks, lack of complete audit trail. And obviously for sellers, there is a longer working capital cycle because physical documents requires dispatch, processing at various legs in the transaction, which usually take 7 to 21 days in receiving acceptance or payment. And because of that reason, their cash cycle is obviously impacted. So I will just go back in some history where my first interaction happened with this technology based supply chain solution in 2015. It was based on Bitcoin tech architecture. And also payment and settlement was expected to happen through Bitcoin, that is a cryptocurrency. We didn't show much interest for obvious reasons. However, in 2017, we got another opportunity to look at it and realize that sans cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin, the customary native features associated with this technology, how it will transform the trade finance, like decentralized management of database by multiple participants, how it makes the difference. It helps all the counterparties in a trade finance transaction to be on one system, or rather, I can say it can blockchain through this customary feature brings all the counterparties on one platform. Similarly, other features like smart contract-based workflows. What it talks about, smart contract-based workflows, it also helps each and every counterparty in the chain of the trade finance transaction to process the transaction also by putting in events and logics, so that it helps the automation of the processing of transaction at different legs. Obviously, speakers have talked about data security, and another aspect that is timestamp. Timestamp is a very vital point here for real-time visibility, where the transaction is lying at particular time, and it gives a transparency among all the counterparties in the chain of the transaction which is happening. Obviously, distributed ledger, everyone have the same records. Consensus mechanism for adding records by that gives that no one can amend, alter, or add any record in the chain without proper authorization and authentication. Similarly, immutability of records. What does it mean? It gives an audit trail. It helps in uh, compliance part to be looked at subsequently, even with regard to the regulatory reporting. So we thought ki blockchain. Therefore, we realized ki blockchain provides the foundation for building robust ecosystems that substantially increase the efficiency and also eliminate fraud and provide better visibility into the trade supply chain. Accordingly, in 2017, we started looking at to create use cases, and in 2018, we rolled out open account transactions. Open account transactions by creating a workflow on our own domain for the clients to deal among themselves by issuing purchase order, accepting purchase order, issue of invoices, acceptance and payment of invoices. Subsequently, in 2019, we also added a new domain to the transaction by putting in a letter of credit. So obviously, since it was a permissioned and private network which we have created in our own environment, it was available for our own customers who are dealing with each other. And we are currently, we are developing many more legs of the trade transactions also, and many more use cases which will be coming henceforth. However, I would like to highlight here, does it mean that blockchain as a technology will only solve the issues in transforming the way trade finance is currently handled? It also requires certain enablers. Why? Because under trade finance transactions, there are certain trade documents like bill of lading, bill of exchange, insurance certificates. These are required that the legal system should also recognize digital documents at par with that issued in paper original. I will come to subsequent. Similarly, there are certain developmental requirement also for electronic communication system and technology to demonstrate beyond doubt that these meet the functional equivalence of having issued, transferred, controlled, presented, and extinguished had it been in paper originals. Let me give you some of the activities which are currently going on. The whole world and most of the industry bodies are aware of to put about the features of the blockchain and how the blockchain is transforming the way the trade finance will happen, and to give effect of creating efficiency, reducing redundancy, and reducing cost to everyone. Here, I would like to highlight with regard to the legal effect that UN General Assembly in December 2017 has passed model law on electronic transferable records, primarily to take care of digitization of the trade documents. Some of the geographies, when I am talking about geography, means jurisdictions or countries, they have adopted it. However, the adoption is low. Recently, a good development has happened that during the G7 summit, a nudge has been given to the major players, major countries, to look at digitization of the trade documents. And I would like to highlight that currently Law Commission of England and Wales is looking at changing the law to give effect of digital documents. And since most of the transactions in international trade happens under English laws. Hope by 2022, when I am talking about 2022, means Q1 of 2022, hopefully English law will get amended to give similar effect, legal effect, to the digital document which I have discussed. Similarly, there are industry bodies like ICC, ITFA, International Federation of Freight Forwarders Association. They are also working on giving a common framework so that the documents are digitalized. If the documents are standardized and in digital form, then it will be easy from one system to another system of movement of those documents, and also processing of that document as a digital record. So obviously I will keep it short. The basic outcome is everyone has recognized that this is a technology which is going to create a change in the landscape of the way the trade finance will happen going forward. And we hope that all those initiatives at an industry level or global level, which is happening currently, they are working with a tight timeline. And tight timeline means with regard to interoperability of the digital document, with regard to giving the legal effects, with regard to creating the standards, common framework. We hope that 2022 will be a landmark year in trade finance, which currently it is happening in islands, like what we talked about, what we have done, but the industry has to adopt that. Similarly, I would like to highlight one, because of the native features and the efficiency which it creates in trade finance, the 18 Indian banks have joined together in creating a IBBIC, that is Indian Banks Blockchain Infrastructure Company. It has got created recently in the month of June, and they are working on creating the use cases so that the clients of each and every bank can deal in digital way, even if the clients are operating from another bank. So basically connecting on a common platform of all the clients of the 18 banks in the current framework. However, the other banks will also be called for to act as a node holder there. Obviously, when we are talking about IBBIC, or for that matter, our own blockchain solution, it meets the requirement of regulation, and hopefully we will come out with a very different way of dealing in trade finance as a transaction, trade finance to help the community reduce the costs, create efficiency, and faster realization of the cash. With that, I would like to end my and I will thank CSR Research Foundation for creating the awareness and also helping each other know about the utilities of the and use cases which can be adopted by the businesses, by the government, for their own internal processes as well as external processes to create efficiency in their operations. Thank you very much.